Hello, my peace learner achievers. Again, I'm Ilona, and this is my podcast, or if you're on YouTube, actually, yes, basically a podcast that helps you and I grow as a person in a holistic way to change our mindset from, I'm not sure, I don't know, maybe, to actually, yes. So today I am so excited to have Toyo here with me today. So she'll kind of talk about like juicing and how she got into it, all like the cool stuff about it. So let's learn about her and whatnot. So Toyo, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
Hey, my name's Toyo. I have a juice company called Juicy Leaf in Kalamazoo. We make fresh raw juices. I started Juicy Leaf with my husband and his best friend, and like my good friend too, in 2013. And we started at the farmers market, and then within a year, we had a little shop in downtown Kalamazoo, and we've been like pressing fresh juices ever since.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. What's kind of interesting is, so I had actually met you. Well, I don't know if we actually met that time, but I went to a farmer's market here in Kalamazoo. And I remember I saw your sign and it said, treat yourselves. And I was like, oh my gosh, this girl is like, this company is speaking to me. Like, I'm just all into that, like, just feel good kind of stuff. And I know juicing can be very beneficial. So I was like, oh, okay. So I went to your booth and I was checking out your flavors. And I remember you had down dog. And I was like, okay, it's really meant to be because I'm a yoga teacher and everything. And I was like, I got to try this. This has to be amazing. So I remember trying it and it was so good and I loved it. So hopefully people out there can check you guys out and check out your place because it is pretty amazing on that aspect. Can you tell us also like what got you into juicing? Like, I know there's so many health benefits to that, but like what led you to be like, you know what, I'm going to open up a thing for that?
Yeah, there's like I'll try to tell a short story. So let's see. It all started, and I went to Kalamazoo Valley for graphic design, knowing that I wanted to be an entrepreneur of some sort. I thought I wanted to do like, I was really into disc golf at the time, so like a disc golf brand or something like that. And like in that same like in that time of my life, I was in like my like about to turn 30 time, and I like, so it's kind of, you feel that like push to like do something more. It's just thing, it's called the Saturn return. I didn't realize it at that time, but I was going through my Saturn return, and I was working for my family's business doing like factory work part-time and going to school, and I was graduating from there and I had about a year left. So I was like, we had a class and we had to come up with a label for like a beverage, and we all kind of brainstormed in class, and it was like a juice tea is what we came up with. It was like a juice or tea, and I'm like, let's make it a juice tea. And so we're all like brainstorming names, and I was like Juicy Leaf, and like everyone liked it, and so that's what we chose. So there's actually probably like 30 Juicy Leaf logos out there. I need to go find these people. And so like I had my logo and I really liked it, and I just kind of like kept it in my wallet, and then I'm just kind of like racking my brain, like what am I going to do with myself when I graduate? Because I knew I wasn't like a happy graphic designer, like being on the computer all day, and like it just wasn't flowy for me, and I just like didn't want to like pursue that career. So I was like, crap, what am I going to do with myself? And I was also wanting to improve my like diet and life at the same time. And I went home for Christmas to Canada, and we watched a bunch of like health documentaries, like Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. And there's this other one called Dying to Have Known, about like Garrison therapy. And this guy in like the turn of the century was curing people of tuberculosis with carrot juice, like just squeezing out carrot juice, because carrot was originally grown to be like a medicine. Super good for you. That was like one of the main ingredients in that dog twist. So good. And so it kind of all came together as like Dharma does, like your Dharma does, and so it's like I asked my husband's friend like if he wanted to like do a farmer's market business with us, because he was just finishing up grad school and I wanted them to like spend more time together. Right. And so we just started this like project, and I really also wanted like the Garrison therapy. They had like the Norwalk juicer, which is like a cold pressed juicer, and I really, really wanted it. And I wanted to drink juice like on the daily, and it was like almost a $3,000 juicer. So like being like an entrepreneur, I guess like archetype, I was like, well, we got to start a business. So that's kind of how it started. And we started like making juice at the farmer's market, the winter farmer's market, and like prepping it at the Sprout Kitchen in Springfield. And then really wanted our own kitchen. So like quickly progressed and got our own kitchen, and just kind of you keep with any business, you just like keep doing it, you know, and like here we are. The juice is so good that it makes me want to make it. You know, it's like
like something you're passionate about. Yeah. And you're just like, like I could just keep making this myself. Like, you know, so you want to share it with others, which is so awesome. And yeah, I'm glad you did share it with me because I'm like, oh, that is so delicious. And like you said, I've kind of slowly gotten into juicing too as well. And it's just nice to know what you're putting in your body, I guess, too, as well. And like you said, just the whole like healing of yourself. And like, especially you, like, I'm sure it sounds like you went down a rabbit hole too, of like, let me watch this show or documentary and then this documentary, you know, and then it's like, people are out there doing that, you know, like, and I feel like that's why I wanted you on my podcast too. Cause I'm like, okay, like she's doing this as her business. Like I want to open up to people out there of like, you know, yeah, you might be like, oh, I've heard of people juicing, but like, do you know further a little bit more about it? And for me, I'm like, hey, look, there's an expert right there. I can ask her to, you know, like talk a little bit more about that and share it with others too as well.
Yeah, totally. And you know, like juicing is so good, and like nobody around was doing juice, and it's like not everybody has time to juice. Like I don't juice at home. I mean, I have the luxury of having like a big commercial like juicing kitchen and a giant juicer, but you know, it's like it's hard enough to cook meals at home and get meals on the plate without having to like rely on, you know, restaurants or really awesome like services that like deliver food to you, you know. So it's just like it's hard enough, then to add juicing, it's like it's really hard to keep up with. So we wanted to offer people like support. So it's just like, you know, you can juice out every once in a while if you're really into juicing and you have a juicer at home, you know, and it's just like,
like exactly.
You know, it's like a good way to support yourself. You know, because it's like you don't have to do everything yourself. So it's nice to like provide that service for people.
Yeah. And then going into that, I guess, because I did notice, because I followed you on Instagram. That's another thing I did. I was like, I got to follow these people on Instagram and support them, because I love supporting entrepreneurs too as well. Like, I'm like, let me get that, you know, something that I enjoy and support myself and show it to other people. And like, hopefully they'll, you know, like either juice themselves or find it in their area or come to you if they're in Kalamazoo, which is so awesome. So I guess also I did notice, and talk about that a little bit with the pandemic, and then like how that kind of like shifted your business and you as a person.
Yeah, totally. So, you know, when 2020 hit, you know, it was a scary time and they kind of closed down like all restaurants, and we could have stayed open because we're primarily takeout. And we did for a little while, but it was just like my hands were so dry from like washing them all the time. And like people were coming in, and I still had the fear really bad at that time because it was so scary and everything was so unknown. And it was like a self-serve out of the fridge, like help yourself situation. And I didn't want to like, I don't like to ask people to do like adults to do things. I didn't want to be like, you got to wear a mask and do this and do, you know, so it's just like, I just wanted to kind of, so we just took a break, you know, it's like, and we wanted to make sure that like we didn't have COVID, because we felt like in the beginning, like, do I have COVID? You don't know, right? Like asymptomatic's a thing. So we closed down for a couple of weeks just to regroup and try to figure things out. And people kept like hitting me up on Instagram and be like, I want some juice. And so, so I decided to just restructure the business where instead of being open like all day and having like a fridge stacked full of juice, we did it so you just like pre-order. So it's really great because one of our main principles is like we don't really like food waste, and we actually have very, very little food waste as it is. But it was like a lot of uncertainty, and like in an uncertain time, like the juice has a 3-day shelf life, and I love for people to get the juice on the first day. And so it's like really hard to predict. So I'm like, okay, let's just switch it to pre-order. We'll juice twice a week instead of 5 days a week.
Right.
And you know, if you want the juice, like it's totally acceptable or accessible. And so yeah, just like went and like tweaked the website, and like while I was getting like a nicer one made and this and that. And that kind of opened me up for, yeah, so like basically we started doing that and it was working great. And like one of my favorite things is it's a little nerve-wracking to be like customer support or just like in sales or whatever. What is it called? Like when having like anybody come in and like you have to be prepared for like the situation, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, kind of, yeah, just that customer service in general. Like,
yeah, just like the anxiety, you know, a little bit of anxiety. So like it was nice to be able to just, and I was always like prepping and doing things. I'm kind of like a one-woman show, especially at that time. And so like I was able to just like lock the door and just like prep in peace, you know, without any like interruptions and just get it done. And it like opened me up to like listening to podcasts. So I just put my headphones on and listen to podcasts. And like I got into like spirituality podcasts. Like my favorite's Highest Self with Sahara Rose.
Yep,
And
I listen to her too.
yeah, I love it. Like I listened to like every episode, and I ended up you know, just getting really into it and just going down like so many rabbit holes, and it just like opened up a whole new world for me of just like, yeah, that just all kinds of stuff. Like there's like so many things, but like she really one of her main things is like Dharma. And like I was like, ooh, I'm living my Dharma. I started my company and this and that. But the thing about Dharma is it's like not a one-time thing. It's like basically it's like your life purpose, but it's not necessarily like a career, but it's like the red thread that like runs through your life, you know. And I've kind of figured out that mine's like nourishment. I love to like nourish people with like juice and conversation and like feeding people, you know, and like just taking care of people. And so yeah, so I just started listening to podcasts and stuff, and like I had a little bit more free time. And so I ended up signing up for her Dharma Coaching Institute and taking that program. And it's just been like a total life changer. So now I have like another little business of being like a soul's purpose coach. And I just like absolutely love that too. So it's kind of cool how like I just kind of made it work for me. And like we're still operating, you know, at that in that way, and it's able for me to like keep the costs down, keep food waste down, have some predictability. And yeah, well, I do make with being open and have like seeing all my juice friends, but like right now this is like I'm really happy it worked out that way.
Yeah, for sure. And then it sounds like, because you did cut your times, like hours too as well. So it's like these specific time frames. And so it kind of like opens up, you know, potentially, like you said, more opportunities for you too as well. Because you're like, okay, I'm actually using my time wisely. And it's also beneficial for these people of getting fresher juice, you know, like, because they're scheduling for that kind of stuff and whatnot, or picking up and things like that. So yeah, as you were talking, like I was literally getting chills. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like I know what she's talking about. And I feel like it was also a lot of like, how do you say it? Like self-healing, spirituality, kind of like self-awareness, getting to know yourself, like, especially with the pandemic, I feel like I kind of like feel like it kind of forced you to. Some people may, you know, like us, we went down that rabbit hole. We're like, okay, what is this about? You know? And that's kind of where I found Sahara Rose too as well. And, love things she talks about and the whole Dharma thing. And yeah, and her just opening up my mind to so many different things of like how I used to think. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like for her, even talking about like her Dharma, you know, before was like Ayurveda. And like, she was like, so that in the beginning. And now she's like, that's not what my life purpose is at this season of my life.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh. Cause I even was going through so much things in my life too, as well. And I'm like, it's okay to change. Like, I know that's silly, like, you know that, but like, just even change your career, you're like, you as a person, shedding those old traits, like growing into this new you. And I feel like during that time, like that really like helped me be like, oh wow, like, okay, like I'm moving in a direction that is serving me more. And it sounds like that's kind of what you had too, because you went through her program. So that's so awesome.
Yeah, 100%. You know, you have to follow your curiosity and like don't put yourself in a box. I've been doing like so much unboxing, you know, and it's like, and that's especially with I find it with juicing. A lot of people like put juicing in a box and like this is the type of person who juices. And like, you know, I would do a lot of sampling back in the day before the pandemic. And like it was just like it's funny to hear just like human nature of people being like, that's too healthy for me, you know. And it's just like, but you have like a human body though that needs like fruits and vegetables, and it's like, don't do that, you know. It's like, it's okay. And like we have like, you know, you're supposed to have like a target audience or market, whatever, but like we have like the people who drink our juice is like so varied and wide. It's like it's a human thing, you know. Like I know that like target audience is great for marketing, but it's like juice is for everybody, and that's like a big part of our brand. It's just like we don't want to be like pretentious or like, you know, like this is a, you know, we just want it to be like fun, open, juices for everyone, come try it, it's yummy. You know.
Yeah. No, that's a good model. And I totally feel you too, that I feel like, yeah, once you start having your business and people are like zone in on a target audience, you know, and for the most part, I mean, eventually I feel like maybe you kind of get a general idea and stuff, but I'm kind of like on that same pattern, like even just with yoga, like I'm like, this is generally who I'd want to attract, but also I want to be that person who people can come to me at any stage and they're like, how do I do this? Or like, could you lead me to that? Or, you know, like whatever. I'm like, I don't want to just like generalize either, but yeah. So, cause like your sign says, treat your cells, like anybody with cells, like come get some juice, you know?
Yeah, totally.
I feel like, yeah. And I feel like there could just be maybe like some stigma too. Cause like you said, it's like, oh, people who are maybe really fit, who are like eating healthy all the time or whatever, are the only people who juice or have time to juice or whatever the case may be, you know? But like you said, like that probably help open up eyes to people too. Like they're like, sometimes people might think like juicing is like to like earthy taste or something, you know? And so like you having your different flavors, you can kind of tailor to whoever, like, okay, well, this will probably be more your kind of style or this kind of style. And, you know, it kind of like tailors to their needs too and their selves. So
yeah, totally. Like your taste buds change. Like when we first started, like celery juice wasn't a thing yet. Like maybe it wasn't in Michigan. And you know, and it's like we didn't sell too much all veg juice, but now like our all veg juice, our veg out is like one of our most popular flavors. And it's like you should start somewhere, you know, because people are just like, well, what's the healthiest juice? And like the juice that you want to drink. You know?
Right.
You know, they're like also like awesome health benefits and stuff, but it's like, you know, every ingredient is really good for you. You know.
Yeah.
And,
right. And for
yeah,
mentioning
like, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go
I
ahead.
would just say like, and it's like, no, I don't blame anyone for it because I noticed, like in media, like juicing, they're like so mean to juicing in the media. Like if you watch like any sitcom or show, and like I'm hypersensitive, like aware of it, but it's like always like gross, or it was like the weirdo or fancy person doing it. It's like the others like doing the juice, and it's like usually gross, or it like gives people like immediate diarrhea. And it's just like, no, it's just a tool. It's like fruits and vegetables without pulp. Like so you can just drink tons of it, you know. And it's like,
yeah, I know.
So it's weird in the media. So like I don't blame people, because I get a lot of people to be like, I thought this was going to be disgusting, but it's actually like really good. I'm like, yeah, because it has like apples and pineapples and oranges and you know, yummy stuff. And you know, some of the green stuff, it's like, you know, takes some getting used to, but it's usually like the first taste of something that you haven't tried before, you're like, and you don't know exactly what to think about it. But like if you take like another taste and another taste, like your taste buds get used to it, and you're like, ooh, I kind of taste this ingredient and that ingredient, and like you get used to it, and then your body is like, yeah, I want more of that. You know.
Yeah, and it was actually interesting. So I had I don't know if you know Tony Robbins.
Mm-hmm.
No, but he had, I wish I would remember the guy's name. So he was like this like health medium person. And he had talked on his show for a moment because I did like a free webinar thing with him. And he was talking about juicing and celery juicing and stuff like that. And he was talking about like, I want to say, if I'm correct, I'm not sure exactly, but I want to say like sometimes our body is very acidic. That like the celery juice can help like make it balanced or alkaline and things like that. And I thought that was just interesting too, where I'm like, like, yeah, and I don't know if, let me know if this is true as well. It was talking about like flavors too as well. Like it might taste really off or maybe a little like too strong for you sometimes, but it's because your body's also not used to it necessarily. Like it sounded like if you drink more celery juice, that over time, you know, your body will kind of like even out and be like, okay, like this is not as strong as I thought it would be. And not necessarily just taste buds, but just like body in general. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. I love celery juice. That's the medical medium. He's awesome.
Okay. So you know who
yeah, celery juice first thing in the morning. That's his thing. And I like totally agree with that. And like one benefit of celery juice that nobody talks about that I love is like, I know that I could drink like celery juice in the morning and I'm going to take a poop before I leave the house.
Yes. No, like it's not TMI at all. Like I'm like all about that like talk. Cause I'm like, I need to first thing in the morning. Like that's just me regular. And I hate to go somewhere or like to the store or something like, and have to do it there. So I'm like, I can do it at home. That'd be great.
Yeah. For someone who has to be at the farmer's market at like 7, it's really handy.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah. You don't want to have that all brewing up in you.
Yeah. So it's like, they had the green juices and, like, you know, all the juices alkaline your body. And it's like the benefit of that is like acidic bodies is how, when you get sick and your body's acidic, that's when like sicknesses like cancers can develop. So it's like, it's not like juice is some miracle thing. It's like juice helps support your body, because your body is a miracle thing, you know, and it's like, it's not like, you know, way the sales go or whatever. It can be like, this is the thing that's going to save you. It's like, no, you're going to save you, but you have to like set yourself up for it, you know, and it's just like moving your body with yoga and breathing and, you know, just like these things. It's like, and feeding yourself, like feeding your cells, giving them the right tools so they can get like the job done. And like, yeah, juicing, and it's really good for that, or especially even like juicing in the morning, like just doing like little mini fasts, like, you know, stop eating in the evening, you know, once it gets dark, and then you can go to like as far as you can in the morning, and then you can get like a good 12-hour fast in pretty easily, 2 hours before, 2 hours after, any way you want to do it. And then you can like drink juice and like prolong that if you want, you know, and it's like, and then it's like if you are like intermittent fasting, a lot of times it's like you have like a smaller eating window, but when you juice while intermittent fasting, it's like, you know, you're getting like mega nutrition. So it's like you don't have to have like a super thought out meal that has like everything in it, because you've been loading your body with like all the fruits and vegetables that needed for the day anyhow, you know, and then nutrients and micronutrients and phytonutrients and, you know, biophotons and all the good stuff. And like, it doesn't matter how good your digestive system is, because you don't have to digest it. It's like in your bloodstream in like 15 minutes, which is nice, because it's like you can eat all the healthy foods sometimes, but if your digestive system's not right, you're not necessarily going to absorb it all.
Correct. Yeah. It's like that whole gut health, right? Going back to that. And I actually realized that you have so much like to help with your immune system in your gut. And I guess I never knew that until like, you know, more so recently, that I'm like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, you hear about gut health. It's so good. You know, you need this and that, blah, blah. But like literally like a lot of your immune system is in your gut. So if you're not, like you said, absorbing very well, then again, you know, it's just not good for you either. Yeah. You know, and like you said, it's just like a whole aspect too. It's not like you said, juice is a cure all or yoga is a cure all. It's kind of just like looking at yourself as a whole, like reflecting again, like, what am I doing to, you know, replenish myself, you know, do that recovery. And like you said, even just like the fasting too, as well, having this time frame where you're like, okay, like my body needs to, like re-regulate or get rid of like the toxins and all the stuff that's built up in me. Cause like, what I've learned too over time is that like, if you're constantly eating, your body just is always in that, like that stress state of like, I need to digest, or I mean, not digest, but like, yeah, stress out, basically. You're stressing out and all that, kind of putting stress on your body and not having that digestive moment and all those things where it's like, okay, you need the resting to digest too. So, and I'm sure, like you said, having the juice to help, you know, it's like kind of like with your brain too. It's like, this juice is so good, you know, like, and you're not thinking, oh, I need to eat like all this stuff right now, you know, because you're just like, I know what I'm putting into me, like, and being like, you know, self-aware of when you're eating as well. So
yeah, totally. And, you know, you don't have to do like a 12-hour fast every night. It's just like, listen to your body, you know, do it sometimes. And then, you know, like have the juice and stuff, but it's just like, and so nice too, if you have juice in the morning, it's like, it's so much easier to make like healthier snack decisions and lunch decisions and like dinner decisions, because like you already started on such a good foot and you like feel really good from it. And so it's just nice. Like, I'm not perfect. I drink like, you know, like I go through phases, but it's just like, I love food. People are like, yeah. Are you like a vegan or this and that? I'm like, I eat food, you know?
Right.
And, you know, but I try to like, and the juicing is so helpful. It's such a good, you know, a hack. I'm like, you know, and I go through phases, because it's like, you know, just like anything, we'll go like, we have winter here. So it's just like, starts at Christmas and then you're just like, ooh, like, and I like have food freedom. And so like, I'll just eat the things, you know, but it's like, it catches up after a while and you're like, ooh, you know, like I really want to give myself a break and like start moving my body more and like eating healthier and stuff. So like juice is such a great tool for that. So it's like juice supports me when I'm not, my diet's not optimal, but juice also supports me when I want to get it back to optimal.
Right.
That's my kitty cat.
Oh, that's okay. But yeah, no, I totally feel that too. Cause I'm just like, you know what? I'm a healthy person. I like to think I'm a healthy person, or making healthier choices, I should say. Not necessarily a healthy person, but making healthier choices. But I'm also like, I'm gonna eat what I want to eat sometimes, you know? Right. But like you said, when I do start my, you know, like day or midday or whatever the time it is, like just having that juice in your hand and you just know it's filled with so much fresh things and you're just like, this is nice. And then it's right. You're right. Like I feel more apt to be like, okay, like how can I maybe change my snack? Like how maybe can I change lunch? It gets you in that thought process without realizing it. Like, okay, if I can, like do these little changes or adding things in there like that, then okay, maybe this isn't so bad. And then kind of breaks down too, like you said, that whole stigma of like, however people want to classify juicing people as, you're like, now I'm part of that community, and, I really enjoy that because, yeah, like before the pandemic hit and I found you guys at the farmer's market, my dad said he went through a juicing cleanse, like a 3-day thing, like years back. And I think he's traumatized for a moment because he was like, I had diarrhea and all that stuff. So I'm like, well, that's all you were drinking too. So of course it's going to like detox your body and stuff. But, other than that, I didn't really have experience with it. So like you said, I was like, okay, let me try this. I was like nervous because I was like, it's probably going to taste weird, but I was like, oh, this tastes really good. Like this is so good. Refreshing. And for you to have, I think also helps out too. I'm like a themey type person. So if something calls me like a fun name or, a description, I'm like, ooh, that sounds fun. And like, you're more drawn to try it, so I don't know.
Yeah, totally. We're all about fun.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and like fast and stuff like that, it's just like another way to use it, like to do a full-on juice cleanse. But it's like important to like prepare for it. It's just like you wouldn't do, like I've never done this, but I listen to enough podcasts to hear about it. It's just like ayahuasca, they tell you that are like, don't eat meat and like don't do this and that. And, like you have to prepare yourself for that experience. And like I feel like juicing, you should have like the same amount of respect for it. It's like, if you eat like a sausage egg McMuffin and then drink juice, you might have like a bad time, but it wasn't the juice. It was like you got to drink the juice first. There's like little things like that. Like it's best drinking on an empty stomach. Like if you're gonna do like a fast, it's best to eat clean going up to it. So you can do like a 3-day juice cleanse, but really make that into at least like a 7-day thing, where it's like for the first few days you're eating like lots of whole foods, cleaning up your diet and getting rid of like breads and refined sugars and just really working on getting a good poo, to like start, and kind of clear your digestive system a little bit. And then, you drink the juice and like plenty of water and stuff like that. And then when you do want to break your fast, it's really good to break it with just like, watermelon or like your favorite juicy fruit, just to wake up your stomach a little bit. Where so many people will be like so hungry and then they're just like, I ate pizza, and it's just like, oh no, so it's like, and it's like, it's a big thing. I always recommend people start with like intermittent fasting and just start getting used to fasting. And like what my father says is enjoying your fast, because you do kind of, you're just like, ooh, you had that feeling in your stomach where it's like empty, but you're just like, no, that it's like, you got the autophagy going and it's like eating all your like weird cells and like good things are happening and you're like flipping that switch from like storing to burning and stuff like that. So there's, it's like, but yeah, it's just like a lot of people just go right into the 3-day fast and it's like not a good time. It's like, oh, there's like many ways you can use the juice, and it's like good to like with anything is to like ease your way into it. So that's what I would recommend.
Yeah, well, that's good because some listeners out there need that clarification too as well. Like just with anything, you won't necessarily just like get up and just like if you're like, let's say a couch potato or something, and you're just like, I don't really work out or anything, and then you're like, I'm gonna run like a marathon. Like what? Like good for you if you do that, but like I would not suggest that. But
yeah, totally. Like I don't know how many times I'm like, I'm gonna work out, and you work out so hard, and then you're like the next day you like drop a quarter and you're like, I'm not even gonna pick that up because I'm too sore. And, like, and then you lose total motivation, so like just easing into it's good. And especially for women, like the juice is really nice for women who want to get into fasting, because like men are different. They can like water fast for like days, no problem. But like women, we're meant to like be prepared to like have babies. And, then like our bodies work differently. A lot of the studies on fasting were just like on men. So it's just like, I remember in the beginning, I would try to like fast with my husband and he would just go so much longer. And I would be like, I need to like eat, so I just started like listening to my body, and like I would only fast till noon, where he would go to dinner sometimes, and it's like, yeah, go like also like I'm like the food person in the house. So it's like if I don't feed him, like he just doesn't eat.
It was like, I'll make it work.
Yeah, for sure. So it's like, it's just like tuning in and listening to your body and like really taking your time, I feel like is like the right way to go. So we have juice cleanses like 1 day and 2, but we also have like, just pick out your own juices, and we have like subscription service. So it's just like, you can just set it. So it's like every Tuesday you get your juice for the week, or every Friday you get your juice for the weekend. So it's like, yeah, we try to do a little bit for everyone at every stage.
Yeah, no, that's good. Because again, like the average person again might think of like what you had described earlier of like, this is what I know juice or juicing as, things like that. So it's kind of like reintroducing like, okay, that might have been what it is or whatever, or whoever told you, but like, this is what I'm doing with my business and, how it can be beneficial to you too as well. So let's go into, well, okay. Two things I guess I'll try to add to it. What is one of your juices you would say maybe like a beginner might try? Like they're like, I've never done it before. Like what flavor do you recommend? And then what is your flavor and why?
I would say that if you wanted to like try juicing for the first time, I think the Down Dog Twist is a really great one. It's one of my favorites because it has like carrots, apples, orange, pineapple, turmeric, and lime. And those are all like super immune boosting, super antioxidants. I got into juicing not because of green juice, but because of carrot juice. And so like I'm a big fan of carrot juice, and like green juice is great too. But carrot juice, like it's great for your liver. It makes your skin really nice. It has like tons of beta carotene, which gets converted to like vitamin A, which is really good for your immune system. And so it's like it's just like a really good one. It's really tasty. It reminds me, I don't know if everybody will get this reference, but I don't know if you remember like Tropicana Twisters.
Yeah,
it kind of reminds me of like those, but like way better and way less sweet. And it's just really yummy and like orange and fun. For green juices, I would recommend the green apple. It's just apple, kale, and lime, but it tastes like apple cider. And most of the year it's with local Michigan apples, and it's just so yummy. And another good one, and I'd say for our beet juice, it'd be our fruit juice. And that's it's just like a fruit punch. So it's like apple, orange, pineapple, beet, and apple, orange, pineapple, beet. It's really yummy. And then all summer we have our watermelon juices, which are delicious. I'm so excited. It's like it's spring here. It's spring-ish. It's fall spring here. And
right.
like I'm like so excited about watermelon season. And so that's just like watermelon, pineapple, lime, or watermelon, pineapple, apple, orange, grape, and beet. And those ones are really good. And everyone's like, oh, it's just like pink and sweet and watermelon, but watermelon's like super duper good for your heart health. It's like the reason why they say tomatoes are good for your heart health is because of what is it called? It's not summertime, so I haven't been lycopene. And there's actually more lycopene in watermelon, and it's what makes watermelon and tomatoes red. So it's really, really good stuff, super heart healthy. So those are all like really good beginner juices. And we have like medium juices too. And then my very favorite juice, it's just plain carrot juice. We call it Primus. It's like crazy creamy. Like, especially if you're not doing like dairy, like you can drink a carrot juice and like totally like satisfy that like sweet, creamy, kind of like almost like ice creamy milkshake kind of flavor. It's like sounds crazy. And like
right,
the bigger the carrots, the better. But like, yeah, it's so good. And it's just like so healing. And it's what inspired me to start Juicy Leaf. And it's named after our late Rottweiler Primus, who absolutely loved carrots and carrot juice.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have had tried carrot juice that I have tried at my place here because I had a bunch of carrots. It's like I have all these like veggies, and before trying to juice, like they would always go bad. They would sit in my crisper in the fridge, and then I'd be like, oh, time to throw them out. And then I'd buy another one and they'd be like gone again. So I'm like just trying like the juicing at home, like, oh, like I can actually use the whole bunch I can do now. And yeah, it is. I'd have to say for me, the carrot juice is kind of like maybe just what I mixed with it too. I don't remember what I mixed with it. It was an interesting acquired taste, but it was also really good. And I had a friend over and I was like, do you want to try some of this? And he actually liked it for the most part. I was like, yeah.
That's so good. Yeah, we call it juice it or lose it. And like, yeah, I'm totally guilty of that too. And I just like I saw like a meme that was just like, oh, better buy the spring mix so I can just like throw it in the garbage in like 2 weeks, and it's just like, I always like think like I'll be at the store and be like, like I didn't really get through all our groceries, and just like never give up, keep buying the fruits and vegetables. It's like, it's okay. Like you just have to, it's so easy to be like, I don't eat them, but it's like, no, just keep trying, you know. And that's why juicing's so nice too, because it's like you don't have to try so hard.
Yeah. So yeah, the who I had over, it was my friend's kid, and he's like 4, and he like loves carrots, and he was like, "Can I have some?" And I was like trying to like introduce him to it, you know, like just expose him to it. And I had him put it like in there and stuff, and he was like crunching on his carrot, and then I was like, I think because I looked up kid friendly, I think, and it might have been some orange. Yeah, I want to say orange because he loves oranges. Oranges were in there too, so it was like orange and carrot mix. And I was like, do you want to try some of this? And he was like, sure. And he like drank the cup that, you know, the small amount of cup that I gave him. And I was like so shocked because again, I was just like, oh, kids wouldn't be interested in this, you know, or whatever. And he was like, gulp, gulp, gulp. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. That's great.
I've seen so many little like toddlers and stuff just down juices. It's funny though, like buy it, like they'll get like one juice to share, and then like they'll give it to their child, and they'll like open it up, and then the child's just like glug 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 glug, it's like gone, and they're like, oh, like I feel so bad. Just do, but it's great. It's just like boom, your kid's like supported today. You got this. Like check that off the list. They got their fruits and vegetables, you know, but they love it. I have little juice fans that'll come in when we're open and like pick out their juices. They're like 4 or 3, sometimes like 3, but like come in and like they know what they want. They're like, ooh, I want a beatnik. I want a carrot juice. I want a green apple.
Right. They're probably like, I want it all. Can I, Mom? Can
yeah. I have a lot of little customers. They're so cute.
That's so awesome. But I feel like that just warms my heart too, just to like, because again, I feel like you don't know what you don't know, you know? So if you're like showing kids at a younger age, like, you know, this is what this is how this can taste, you know, like, I feel like that's super important to like, and it's also, you know, like just showing them, you know, like, you know, this is a juice at, you know, the store, you know, maybe they don't really realize it, but their taste buds, they're like, wow, that's very sugary. And then they have yours and they're like, that's orange, you know, like that's an orange flavor of that, you know, like what, really? Like that's not what it tastes like at the store, you know. It just also opens that conversation depending how old they are, but
yeah.
you know, kind of that too. So that's really neat.
Yeah, it's such an easy way to get, like kids are picky and it's hard to eat, like get them to like sit down and eat their food. So it's like such an easy way to like just make sure that they're nourished for the day, you know.
Yeah,
especially with like homeschooling and stuff too, because it's like you can pull it out. It's like a little bit harder to like pack it in their little lunches, but if like, you know, it's nice that like I had a lot of parents that would just like pull it out of the fridge and, you know, have it for their kids.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so sorry about that.
No, it's okay. That's awesome though. That's good to know that also, just even going backtracking for a moment, that it's good for 3 days, like juices and things like that. So
yeah,
I've always wondered that. I'm like, what is the shelf life like?
so like on a centrifugal juicer, like I guess I don't know what they are like now, but like the Jack-o'-lane style where it's like well, most juicers now are like slow juicers or like cold press juicers and stuff like that. Yeah. And I'm so sorry about this mute. So yeah, so like those ones that are like when you go to a juice bar and they just make it right in front of you, that is like a centrifugal style, and that's good. You should drink that immediately. Okay. Really, it shouldn't be bottled. It's like there's a lot more air and like oxygen that goes into it, and so like oxidates faster. And like oxygen is like the juice and oxygen don't go well. It'll like make it oxidize faster and go bad. So like that's why if you get one of our juices, it's like filled to the brim. Like you have to be kind of like careful opening it because like I don't want any oxygen in there, you know. So but that's why we did the cold press, and that's why I was like so obsessed with the Norwalk at the beginning, because you do get 3 days out of it, because it's like we take like the vegetables and we grind it to a pulp, so it like opens up like every cell of the vegetables or fruit, and then we like actually press it in a cloth, and so we get like a really, really dry pulp, and so it's like you get like every bit of nutrition out of it, and also like we're not wasting any, because it's like, you know, we're not, you know, so it's like a nice dry pulp, we're not wasting any of it, and you get it all in your bottle. And the pulp we actually feed to like a farmer friend, Silver Wheat Farm, and they have goats, so they're like very, very lucky goats. They eat better than most people. And so it all goes back to the earth. But yeah, that cold press method is like, that's when you can get the 3 days out of it. And if you are juicing at home with the cold press juicer or like a slow juicer, it's best to fill it all the way up to the top, so there's like less oxygen.
That's good to know as well. Yeah. See, I feel like the average person, including myself, would not know that. I'm like, I know this is not the same as juice in the store, obviously, because those are like preserves and all that, or however they, like allow it to shelf life and stuff. So I'm like, I'm sure this is probably not the same process. I can't just keep this for like a week in the fridge.
Yeah, that has been pressurized. So it's pressurized is like a form of pasteurization. It's just done with pressure. And so like it'd be like a cold pressed juice in the store, which means it started out like juice like ours, but then they sent it to a place to have it be like put it under super high pressure, which makes it like good for like a month, but also like kills all the living enzymes. And like that's kind of the point. So like our juice has the living enzymes. It's like a living juice, where that juice is like a dead juice. So it's like in a pinch, it's okay to get the juice at the store, but if you really want the value, it's worth it to like put in the order or make it yourself and get the fresh juice, because that's where the life is.
Yeah, no, that's good. Because of course you want like things as fresh as you can get it. So, right.
And it tastes better too. A lot of people have like a green juice that's been pressurized that's like a month old and it's like not great. Like our juice tastes a lot better than it tastes like life.
Yeah, no, I love that. Are there any other, I guess, health tips or things, benefits that you can think of about any of your juices, or maybe particular ingredients or something? I know we kind of touched on a lot of that when we were talking about like just even the pandemic and all that kind of stuff and immunity. But is there anything else you're just like, okay, like these are like things, it really helps with that?
Yeah, like my favorite thing this time of year is our ginger shots. So it's like ginger lime or ginger turmeric and lime, and that's like super anti-inflammatory. It helps with like your digestion. It helps boost your metabolism. It actually like warms your body and it like gets blood pumping in places that it doesn't usually. So it's like really great for circulation, and it gives you this like crazy, I call it a ginger buzz. And our ginger buzz water does the same thing, where you drink it and you just get something like a wave wash over it. It's like when you eat spicy foods. Like you ever eat something like really, really spicy and you're just like, I feel amazing. You're all sweaty, but you feel amazing.
Right. I don't know what's happening, but
yeah, I guess your endorphins going and stuff. So I love doing that in like hot water with like a little bit of honey and like cinnamon. Like we call it a hot Scott tea. Mm-hmm. And my business partner's name's Scott, so like I embarrassed him with that name. And yeah, that's really, really good. And that's like ginger and turmeric in a lot of our juices. And especially now when you want to keep your immunity strong, it's amazing. And another big immunity thing is just apples. It's like people are so afraid of like the sugar, but it's like, you're going to eat sugar anyhow. Like you might as well get it from fruit. Yeah. It's like, let's be real. Like you can go on like diets or like periods of time where you're not like, you're really, really cutting out sugar, but it's like, we're human beings. Like back in the day, we would go on a berry bush, like find it and be like, oh my God, I found a berry bush. And you would like eat all the berries. It's like, it's part of the reason of being human. So apples are really good. That skin has like quercetin, which is really, really good for your immune system. And it's like, you can make like your homemade applesauce and stuff too, to get the benefits of that, keep the skins on. And yeah, green juice celery, it's really good. It's got electrolytes, like all the green juices especially have like celery, pineapple, cucumber, stuff has like electrolytes, so it's like super hydrating to your body. You don't have to drink Gatorade. Like juice is its own sports drink. And watermelon juice too. It's much better option if you are like doing sports or you want that little bit of extra electrolytes. And I just go on and on and on. But like vitamin C and like there's just so many like macronutrients. And we have like a holistic doctor in town, Dr. Kimberly House, and she actually like wrote all the nutritional benefits of our juices on our website. So if you go to juicyleaf.net and kind of scroll down to each individual juice, she wrote it out like beautifully, like what each juice is good for and like all of our ingredients. And like, I'm a big picture girl, so it's like really hard for me to like hone in and memorize that stuff, but it's all there. And I trust her. I trust her so much. And like, she's awesome. And she said, one thing that really stuck with me is like, there's not a part of your body that doesn't benefit from drinking juice. It's like, we like to be like, this is good for this and this is good for that, but that's like Instagram stuff, that's like, it's all good for you, like, and it's going to affect you differently. So it's just like, it's all good.
Right.
And if you are worried about sugar, I like to cut them with, sometimes I'll just have like a sweeter one, but I'll drink it with like a LaCroix and make it into like a sparkler, or something like that. And yeah, so do what you want, it's just like people are like, they want to get like the healthiest juice, and it's like, enjoy it, try a variety and see what you like. And like variety is better than just being like, this is the healthiest one, I think. So I'm only going to drink this one, you know?
Yeah.
Rainbow,
And on top,
the rainbow.
exactly. I was literally just gonna say that. I was like, it's, you gotta like have the whole like food color thing. That's like what I've been thinking of lately too. Cause I'm just like, okay, like how am I supposed to try to be healthy and stuff like that? Cause there's so many like follow this diet, do that diet, don't do this, do this. And it's like, honestly, I've gone down so many rabbit holes that it's super overwhelming. And it's like, okay, but what works for me, you know?
Exactly. That's what works for you. And like figuring that out. And that's your like life's greatest mission, right? It's like,
Right.
yeah,
And then
what
you're
works
just,
for you.
you can go down that rabbit hole for your like whole entire life. But
Yeah.
I just, like you said, go back to the basic of like, I'm like, okay, what am I eating now? And what does that look like? And then, like you said, trying to change it to that rainbowness of like, that's when I started going more to the farmer's market. Cause like before I'd be like, oh yeah, whatever, I'm just going to go to the store. But like, honestly, I just started making it an event. Cause for one, Kalamazoo, from what I hear, is like one of the largest farmers markets like out there. And I've been to a couple other ones around Michigan and I'm like, is this a farmer's market? Like it's so small, but just cause I'm used to how Kalamazoo's is. So just going there, I make it like an event. Like sometimes, like I said, I'll go get your juice, start my day that way. And then I'm like, let's get all these veggies and fruits. And I'm in that headspace of like, you know, what are colorful things I can have, you know, type thing. I do notice myself, maybe it's just because it's like, I'm so used to those kind of vegetables, but like greens, I'm like, okay, I have too many greens. Like, what can I find that's red or, you know, red peppers or, you know, orange peppers or, you know, adding all these other stuff too. So that's what I kind of just personally have tried doing myself too. Is just like, okay, my diet before used to be very bland, same color or, you know, like gray color, not really like coloring to it. And then like, how can I make it more fun and vibrant and like exciting? I feel like that's what really helps me. And hopefully that'll help others too. Whereas like, I'm not a cooker. Like I am not. But over time, I've found things that excite me where I'm like, okay, this simple whatever sandwich or egg sandwich, how can I make it more exciting? Oh, let me add all these colorful peppers, tomatoes, spinach, you know, and I don't know, that's just what works for me. But yeah, definitely start, if anything, you're like, I don't even know where to start or whatever. Start with, for one, like you said, try different juices. And for two, just in your diet in general, how can you add more colorful things to it? The whole rainbow from fruits to vegetables to grains or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, totally. And enjoy it. Like I made my husband like the best, like I make him like, he's so lucky. I make him like little like awesome salads every day for his lunch, you know, and like today I like lined up the strawberries and then I had like the olives all lined up and I made it look like a fancy restaurant salad and it's like, you know, and make it fun and it's delicious. It's like whenever I eat salad, I'm like, you know, you don't think you want it and then I eat it and I have to like, it's like how you eat popcorn, just like, you know? And
Yeah.
it's so good. And like your intuition was so right on about going to the farmer's market. And not only can you get excited about all the beautiful fruits and vegetables that our like community members have grown for us, but it's like way more nutritious. Like it doesn't even matter how much extra you pay for it, which is barely any. It's like the nutrition that you're getting from those fruit and vegetables surpasses what you're getting at the grocery store. And especially if it's not organic. It's just like the soil that it grows in it's so important. And there's so many like really awesome farmers that like they're digging those things out with their bare hands, you know. It's like you should go buy it and like support them and like and nourish yourself because that's the good shit. You know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree because like some of their stuff even is like bigger than in the store, you know, and I'm like, holy camole,
And
like
it lasts longer. It's way less likely to die in your fridge because
yeah.
it's like you know, like I usually get like a week longer with produce because it was like picked like 2 days or like the day before. You know, it's like you can't beat that kind of freshness. So it's like we
Yeah.
love to support our like local farmers as much as possible. And that's like one of my main motivators for like starting Juicy Leaf too, to keep it going is like, you know, being like a major, like, you know, supporting those local farmers, like we use like Schultz apples and Country Mill apples. And we still are because we use Kalamazoo Valley Hub and they like store them for me. Like I don't have much refrigeration, but they store apples for me all winter. I'm still juicing apples from the fall, like at
Nice.
least Schultz's green apples right now. And it's just I'm really really passionate about that, and it's just like you just get so much more like, and then you help them and it's just like it's all good. And then another thing, we get buy a lot of our stuff from the co-op too. I lost my organic supplier, so I like filled some orders in at the co-op. So it's like when you support us, you're like supporting the co-op. And I do have to get things from Gordon's, but it's a Michigan company. And sometimes I do have to get like pineapples from Meyer, but it's a Michigan company, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I try to, you know, buy greens and stuff, and like Valley Hub really helps with that. And yeah, it's really important for us. And another thing is like I heard I'm kind of like an activist in a way that like I just love buying as much organic produce as I can because it feels like with your buying power. And they said that if you can go to the grocery store and like 30% of the produce is organic and being sold, like that, like Monsanto said that they would be like screwed. So it's just like buy all the organics. It's better for you. You're not putting like, Roundup in your body and you're fighting the man. So let's do it,
Yeah, no, for sure. And I feel like, again, it's just a whole different experience. Like, it's just, like you said, it's just that like feel good of also helping yourself, but also helping others out there in like the community. And you're like, these like people are working really hard to like support themselves or their families or whoever it may be, or maybe they're doing it for fun, whatever the case may be, but you're supporting their passion, their lifestyle, their whatever sense of like community-ness too. And I just like love that too. Cause it's like, they're putting their like, blood, sweat, and tears and all that kind of stuff. And then like, not saying people don't do that at store, but like you said, it's just like a different experience, different feeling. Like when you go to a store, you buy something, you're like, okay, cool, I bought it, for the most part. But then when you buy it from somebody and you're talking, making connections, like, how's it going? Or whatever the case may be, it's like a different, like feel good feeling, and like you said, just not having that waste too as well. And just in general of trying to make the planet a better place too.
Yeah, one meal at a time.
Right. Right. All right. So we'll kind of wrap up now. I'm so excited about our session and everything. Hopefully that opens some minds for people. People check you out and they're just like, I heard you on this podcast and, whatever the case may be, or on Instagram. So before we hop off, can you tell people like where they can find you? Like, where is your shop located? Or like how they can go about, I guess, just connecting with you in general?
Sure. So the best way to get started with us is to visit our online store at juicyleaf.net. And they have like all the juice descriptions and stuff. If you like scroll down and to choose individual flavors, you can read all about that. So you just put in your order and then you can either pick up on Tuesday or Friday. Or Tuesday, you can pick up at our downtown location, which is on the Kalamazoo Mall. It's in the middle block of the Kalamazoo Mall, across from Morrison Jewelers. We share the building with Down Dog Yoga and Great Life Thrift Store. And so we're just like right inside there. And outside is like the hot dog, Use Guys sausage hot dog window, which we actually like used to make juice in that window back in the day. So yeah, just come on in to pick up your juice. So yeah, you just put your order in. You can either choose Tuesday or Friday. There are cutoff times. Order by Wednesday at noon for Order Sunday at noon for Tuesday, Wednesday at noon for Friday. And then we'll be at the Saturday farmers market. And they're actually like built out a whole new farmers market, which I'm really excited about. And that'll start this spring. Okay. So yeah, juicyleaf.net, put in an order and you can pick up here at the co-op or the shop at the co-op.
Right. That's awesome. And then on social media, where can they find you?
Oh, and at the co-op, you have like a little mini fridge. So you just go in and like grab it right out of there. We're at juicyleaf.net's our website. Juicy Leaf LLC on Instagram, Juicy Leaf on Facebook. We're mostly like active on the gram. I did start a Twitter. No, sorry, no, not a Twitter. I did start a TikTok, and it's like it's going. But yeah, the best place to reach us is probably on Instagram or our website. But yeah.
Yes, I love Instagram. Yeah, TikTok's a whole nother world.
I just try not to like I'll make my reels or TikToks in there and then I try to like roll out because I have ADHD and I'd be on there forever.
Oh, heck yeah. I don't even have ADHD, but then when I get on there, I feel like I have it. I'm like, there is so much going on. I don't even.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a tool.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, at least you're reaching out to a more crowd and all that kind of stuff. So it's all about, all that kind of jazz. Mm-hmm. All right. So one other random thing I've been trying to, I really just started today to roll out because I love music. So is there a type of music out there that really just gets you pumped up where you're just like, this is my song for any time where I'm just like, I need to like fire myself up?
It's funny. I'm not like, I've always been more of like, I'm not really like a pop girl, but like 2020, man, Dua Lipa stole my heart. And her album, Future Nostalgia, I've been like super jamming out to that lately. So if I just want to like, I've been trying to take more times out to like dance and just like dance in my house and just move my body more and have more joy. So like that one right there will like always get me moving. And then as far as just like wanting to like just chill and like get some work done, I just love anything Thievery Corporation is like my fave.
Okay, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I do know her. So yeah, I feel you on that because I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check out the other one that you're talking about. But
yeah, Thievery Corporation, they just like, they have so many albums. They're like independent. And so they like say what they want. So like the lyrics have meaning, and they have like a reggae album, and then they have like a bossa nova album. So there's all these different styles. And so it's like, I mean, they've been doing this forever. So there's so many albums. So that's like my go-to of like, just wanted to like be easy and like listen to some good stuff that's like, it puts me in like my warrior spirit of like, let's make some change.
yeah, right. And you need that in your life, you know, as with, I'm sure you do with podcasting too. Like, I don't know about you, but like you said, when I listen to things or the words, like I'll like hone in, like, wow, like I feel like I know this on a whole different level, like what this person is going through, or it's making me feel how I'm sure they want, you know, the consumer to feel. And so I just love that about music in general. It can just persuade how you're feeling, or say words, like you said, that you're not really sure how to say. And you're like, that's exactly what I was trying to say.
Yeah. Just getting you moving, you know, we're also, you know.
Yeah. Exactly. Movement is key. You do not need that stagnant energy in you. You just, let your body move however it wants to.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being on this podcast. I'm sure everybody out there is super excited to hear about this too. I know for sure some people that I'm like, yeah, they'll probably get a nice take out of this too. So thank you again.
Yeah, it's really wonderful talking with you today. And thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Am I awake?